Hey everyone, Mike Moo here. Just so you know, this bike was not actually stolen. This is my video off of my dash cam from the back of my Hyundai Palisade. It's a e1.2 thinkware. You can see the bit of firmware up here. And let me give you a little bit of backstory as I play this video to show you what's going on. I went down with my wife for a little family reunion. We were going to meet in Slow. It's midway point between Orange County, where one brother was coming up from, and also from the Bay Area, where my older brother and myself were come down, and my parents too. My dad, actually, just my dad. And we came together to meet up in Slow, and this is the hotel that we stayed in the night before. I parked on the side of the McKinney Wayfarer in SLO, which is San Luis Obispo. This is closer to where our hotel room was at, and is what was recommended by Chris, who was the hotel check-in person for us. He recommended that if we parked over here, we'd have really easy access to our room, which is true. So that's what we did. After I checked in around I want to say about 3:30, we were in our room. We thought we were going to come back down and head out and enjoy the rest of the day. But turns out, look, I was tired. I had just driven down, and we decided to take a little break. So we took a little break in the room. And while we were taking a break, this Toyota came up. Okay, you can see the silhouette of the person here, which I will then tie in together with the guy who was trying to steal my Gen e1.2 bike here, this orange one. This is a really great bike if you didn't know. I've been posting a lot about it. I want people to know that this is a perfect bike for a lot of beginner riders. Anyways, this is the 1.2. I have links down below for this. Highly recommend this bike. It is still on clearance if you can get it in stock. I put it on the outside here, all right? And then the bigger one on the inside, because this bigger one is a City Gen e2.2, which is now the currently previous generation. Anyways, these are both REI co-op bikes. They're not super expensive, which is they're really great value. And the reason why I brought these bikes instead, okay, the first one is that this one is great for riders from 5 foot down all the way up to 6'2". And my wife's really short. So this is one of the bikes that would fit her. Before I got her this one, which turned out to be a little bit too big, even though it was a small. Anyways, this one costs more, so put your more costly bike. I'm going to give you some tips in hindsight looking at this, okay? We see several things wrong here. All right, so I put the heavier bike inside, which is better for travel. All right, also the more expensive bike over towards the inside, and then the lesser expensive one out here. See these locking arm? This is an arm out here. There is a Thule lock on this arm and also this arm, securing both bikes, supposedly to the rack. So we drive through here. This guy's, he's obviously on a prowl, right? He was driving by, really close look to it. Normally, I wouldn't think anything of this. Okay, so my security cameras on the car will alert me when activity like this happens. The problem is that I get a lot of alerts, okay? If you're at a hotel, people are driving by, I'm going to get a lot of alerts. That's just the fact of it. Okay, so I got an alert, motion detected, or disturbance, and then a disturbance detected from my Ring camera, which I'll find out later. So he drives by. What you can't tell from this footage is the driver's license right here. Now, if you've seen my other videos on my main tech channel, you will know that I actually have side cameras mounted in the vehicle. Unfortunately, because I was traveling, I decided to disconnect those from a battery pack that normally powers them on and not have them powered on when the car is off. So the car's off, there's no power to the side cameras. If I had the side cameras, I would have gotten this guy's license plate. All right, now notice he does not actually have a license plate in the front. There's no license plate up here. So If he did, I probably would have captured that, because from this angle, looks like I would have captured the license plate. He didn't have one, so he doesn't actually have one up here. And many of these thieves that are going out specifically prowling to steal stuff, they use stolen license plates to begin with. So this is the best view I have the license plate. You can make out some parts of it, but not a whole lot. Okay, you can guess what some of those numbers are. And I don't know, if I had the awesome CSI technology in a show where they go, okay, can you zoom in on that, and then can you make it clear and run through the software and try to capture the best that you can out of here, maybe you might be able to do it. So I'll do a little screen capture there. And really, honestly, this is something that I don't have the software for. And you know what? A lot of people ask me, did I submit a police report? Yes, of course I did. I submitted a police report, and they haven't gotten back to me yet. Why? These are low priority things for them. They have a lot of other things going on. And the fact that the bike wasn't actually stolen, they're probably not going to look into it for who knows how long, right? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how things are in SLO, but I do know here in the San Francisco Bay Area, these are super low priority. Even when I got a smash and grab and had thousands of dollars of stuff stolen, which is the main reason why I got so many dash cams now, way back a few years ago, I found that it took them over a week to send someone out to actually look at the place. I know because I actually saw police coming and standing around the area where they had the big smash and grab anyway. So he drives by. What you can tell is that he double parks in front. He just parks right here, slightly off camera, right? Just a little bit out of the way. And the reason why he didn't park into a parking space is because he needs to have a fast getaway. That's the main reason. And it's super convenient. You will see in later footage that I uploaded that he just parks. Okay, let me just show you that other footage here. Right here. Right there. See that? He parked right there. Just over here. Now, over here, just to the left of me, I believe, left of the car here, was just a no parking zone for people to go up the stairs into the hotel. I believe that's what it was. So he wasn't going to park there and block anybody. Instead, he's blocking these people here temporarily. So that's what the bike thief was doing over there. Okay, so going back to the other video. This is in real time. I didn't cut it. I just want to show you how quickly things came about. So he parked, and what he was doing was he went to the back of the vehicle, and he got a crowbar. Just a thin crowbar that you use in construction, nail removal. It has a little bit of a hook. It's basically a really slim crowbar, not a heavy-duty one, but a slim enough crowbar. Thieves know what they need in order to get through something, right? He wasn't picking any lock or anything. He comes back, he gets the tool. It's really slim. It's easy enough to hide, but he brazenly walks around with it because clearly he's done this before. He's looking around, though, seeing if there's anybody around. He goes off camera a little bit. I guess he's taking a closer look on the other side. Again, if I had a side camera, I'd have a better idea to see what he's doing. But maybe he moved off the side because maybe he saw something, saw someone, or he just wanted to look inside the vehicle. So he might have been looking inside the vehicle, making sure there's not actually anybody sitting inside, which we weren't. We were inside. Now, seeing how many seconds it takes him to pry it off. He already knows. He looks at it. He knows he has a plan of attack. I think he was looking off the side. He has a plan of attack. All right, here's where he starts. Okay, let's start right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. He gets it through 5, 6. Okay, that is definitely like 8 seconds, and it's already off. This is a lock. This is a Thule Easy Fold XT. It's not cheap. Comes with a lock to give you a little bit of a false sense of security. It helps to keep, as they say, keep honest people honest. This guy clearly wasn't, and he pried it off. And then for whatever reason, I guess he didn't notice what was going on. He saw that this was an e-bike. I guess it wasn't sure. It wasn't very apparent. The batteries are not super apparent. He looked up. He sees the control panel. And then he thinks, well, shoot, let me try to power this on, see what's going on. Can't power it on. what's going on here? How do I do this? Let me look around. Oh, look at this saran wrap right here. And the reason why I put saran wrap is it was snowing. Not snowing. It was raining. All right. I want to protect the battery contacts. So the saran wrap was actually covering the battery contacts to help keep it a little bit dry. I don't want to get any water seeping in there. And it did its job. He notices this. Then he sees the battery contacts are there. Then he also sees, look, it's missing the battery. And I don't know if you know this, but a big majority of the value in an e-bike is actually the battery. Now, chances are, when someone steals a bike like this, or just any bike, they're going to want to hurry up and take it back. You're going to take it back, they're going to try to sell it. If you sell an e-bike, looks practically brand new without a battery, all right, you're not going to get top dollar. You're just simply not. Even as nice as this bike is. It's very questionable, right? Where's the battery? Okay, number one, you don't have the battery. Number two, you don't have the charger. And those are going to be additional expenses for someone or a thief to deal with if they're going to want to try to sell the bike. Now, what they could do is they'll list the bike, and hopefully someone shows up. And just so you know, when you go on a place like Craigslist, OfferUp, if the price is too good to be true, particularly for a bike that looks practically brand new, a lot of brand new bikes get stolen all the time. Chances are it is stolen. I know some people don't want to believe it, but if the price is too good to be true, it's absolutely stolen. Okay? No one in their right mind is going to buy a $1,500 bike or more. This was actually a $1,700 bike, and it listed for $500 without the battery and a charger, unless it's stolen. And of course, then they'd be willing to negotiate, but then you'd be buying stolen property. Just so you know. Very clear. Okay, so there's no battery here. He's looking. At this point, what you don't know is that there are going to be cars and people coming right by here. They're already pulling up. He's walking away. He's got this stuff done. There are only 2 more straps holding down the wheels. Those are really easy to deal with. Even if they were locked, all he needs is some snips. And believe me, he's got these in his jacket pockets right now. These snips are really small, just tin snips, things you can get at a hardware store. Things that should be in every good thieves or people who've been thieving a lot, thieving or robbing or anything like that. He's going to have them. Anyway, he's looking down. He's seeing what he needs to do next. But the next group of guests are coming in here. They're pulling up. All right, I know this because when I came down, okay, so he's still looking back. He's lamenting the fact that the bike's done. He's ready to go, but he's still looking to see his next plan of attack. Because he's going to come back. He's going to have to move his car. He's going to move his car away at this point because cars are coming by. They're going to be checking in and moving up in the luggage. In fact, at this very moment, my wife and I were walking down from the hotel. Okay, we were coming out, but then I didn't take the side entrance. I walked out the front entrance, which is to the left of this camera, to walk out this way. I just wanted to, we were inside a hotel. We were checking out some of the amenities because I've been to this hotel many years ago before it was the McKinney. And now it is actually a Hilton brand. Okay, so I come out minutes later. And while it's not in the camera, my wife and I do get in the car, and I do have that footage. I'm just explaining to you what happens. I'll show the next clip that I did. So in the front over here, I have a series of dash cams. Okay. I got front, interior. I'm mostly capturing the interior of the car with these cameras that I have that are active even when the car is off. These are battery powered from both the car and also an internal dash cam battery. The one that you're looking at right here is actually the Ring dash cam, which is something that is active live, and I do get notifications when things happen. They're called disturbances. But throughout the day, I get multiple disturbances a lot. Okay, so you can see, so this is the part where he's walking away. he's thinking, okay, this is something I might have to come back for. As you can see, his vehicle is already right here. He's already got something in there. I don't know what it is. Could be a stolen item. Who knows? Okay, he's got stuff in there. He doesn't have space to fit the bike just yet. Maybe, I'm not sure what he thought about it when he broke the lock off. Maybe he does have space. Maybe he was just going to dump something. But believe you me, this guy was going to come back for it. Okay, so he has to move his car. Closes it up. He's still looking back at the bike. He's got this little roof thing here, and it looks like there's a piece broken down here too. And this part is, again, he just gets in. He has to move because there are definitely cars coming in here to pull in. And I know this for a fact because when we came down here, there were a bunch of people who had actually pulled up to move stuff in. All right, in this clip, basically, I brightened it up a bit. The reason why it was a little bit dark was it was already 4-something in the afternoon, and we have tinted windows in the back, which is standard on the Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy Edition. It's just a little bit darker, and I'm brightening it up, as you can see, a little bit better. You can see his face a little bit more. It's got horn rim glasses. Unfortunately, I didn't put too much description in there for the police report. I did submit all this stuff to the hotel, let them know what was going on. And the person in charge at the check-in desk, obviously she was a little bit horrified that something like this happened. And she said, hey, if you like, you can bring your bikes in and we'll put them in the back office for safekeeping for the time being. Now, they have a whole series of bikes in the front of the hotel. Wisely, they put them right there, and they're locked up. I guess they're for hotel guests to borrow if you want to. We had our own bikes, so we did not borrow them. And I had said, look, we got locks. We can lock them at your rack. Unfortunately, there was no space in the racks. Anyway, another thing is they said, or the person in charge, she said they would prefer that we not bring the bikes into the room. Maybe, I'm not sure if they have a policy about that or not. But I didn't want to impede on them. This was also on New Year's Day when we were talking. New Year's Eve when we were talking to the hotel about all this. And we pulled up to the front of the hotel. She also said we can park in the front. And they'll let management know it's okay to leave the car parked there because obviously we are now a target and the guy was going to come back. Now, they did not confirm or deny whether or not they've had this stuff in the past, but they have these, there's a sign over here saying that the property is not responsible for any theft or damage to the contents of your vehicle or your vehicle. So it's clear that there's a lot of things that are happening around this area. And it's right next to, it's one of the best, let's say, best hotels that is close to the college nearby. In San Luis Obispo, I don't know exactly the name of it. It's San Luis Obispo College or something. Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, maybe. So expect that a lot of people get targeted for bike thefts. And, of course, I talked to the hotel person in charge there the next morning. His name's Chris. I talked to him the first day when we checked in, and he said, yeah, this place, there's not a lot of crime here, but the ones that do pop up quite a lot, are bike thefts. And I think that's primarily it. That's what he's heard the 3 months he was there. So the next morning, we go out for a bike ride. And as we are taking our bikes out front, I talked to the front desk, and I gave them the information about the videos and stuff, and I'm going to forward them the confirmed police case number that I submitted the night before about this. A couple came up. They pulled up right next to us near the front, and they spoke to us as they were walking by. They were looking over at our bikes and our rack, and the lady, Asian lady, she said, you might want to lock up your rack because ours got stolen last night. And you know where they parked? They stayed at the same hotel we were at, and they parked right around here, just this corner, this side of the parking lot, which is the side corner, side part. For those of you guys that don't know, there's actually a tank here. There's a model, not a model tank, but a former in-service tank over here. So we were parked over here. And yeah, they had their Kuwait rack stolen the night before. They admitted, though, that they did not put locks on their rack. For whatever reason, I don't know. A matter of locking your rack. Luckily, they didn't have their bikes in. Okay, so their bikes were not on the rack. I don't think they brought their bikes. They just left the rack on a car for some reason. And they got that stolen. So we talked to them a little bit about it, and I'm quite sure the hotel's not going to be able to do much of anything about it. And I'm not even sure there's any security cameras covering this part. And even if they did, what I've learned since then is that most hotels will not give you the footage from their camera, all right? The only way they would get it is through a police subpoena or court order subpoena to provide that footage. Here's the thing with that. Now, I submitted a police report the day after it happened, right? The police are probably going to take a week, maybe 2 weeks to review that. And by the time they subpoena that footage from the hotel, there's a good chance the hotel doesn't have it anymore. Because the hotels probably don't have a lot of archive footage. Now, I didn't see any security cameras around. Maybe they didn't have any security cameras on this part. Maybe sometimes they were hidden. I asked about it. There was no confirmation, no information about providing me with any of this footage. They would just say, we'll submit it to management, and I guess the management will decide. But my guess is they don't have any footage of this guy doing this. But at least now they are on alert because I had this camera footage for this vehicle and that person. Okay, so for this Toyota, if they come prowling again, what they'll do is they'll come out and they'll get their license plate information. If I am able to get the license plate information, I will definitely provide it to let the police know so that they can keep an eye out for this guy. I don't think San Luis Obispo is one of those cities that have the police cameras everywhere. I know they're starting to add them all around here in the Bay Area sometime later this year. That will help cut down on some of the crimes. But as we know, the hardened criminals, all they do is they take a similar vehicle's license plate, they steal it and put it on to commit these crimes. This way it doesn't set off any radars for people. And obviously they're going to target vehicles that are very commonly used in thefts. So vans, SUVs, the like, or similar vehicles that they can find around. Okay, so that's it. That's part of the story of this. I know someone had asked whether or not I got any damage on our bike, and the answer is minimal damage. Because even though the problem also with these arms is that they were more designed not for e-bikes in general. They're more designed for skinny tubes. And these are very hefty tubes on here, even though this is one of the skinnier ones. So he was able to pry it off pretty well with ease because the clamp doesn't go all the way around the whole tube. It just does this because of how thick it is. And the aluminum structure of the bike is very solid. We do have scratches on the paint. And when I pulled out to drive, of course, the bike completely flopped over, so it just banged and hit on the ground and dragged a little bit. But the only damage with that was a little bit to the handlebar ends. But that's about it. I don't think there's any structural damage. However, I think that there may have been some damage on this piece here. I did notice that it was a little bit more difficult to lock and unlock. So the mechanism here might have been messed up, and that is something that I believe I can just purchase from Thule directly, or REI, where I got this. I can order that part. So other than that, that was it. So some of the lessons learned are, don't leave your bike on the rack. And if you do, if you need to, hopefully you don't, but if you do, put an audible alarm on there. All right, I have a dash cam, and next time when I get an alert, I'm definitely going to be looking at it all the time. But just in general, it's just not a good idea. Put some beefy U-lock on there, chain lock. Put multiple different types of lock. Make it a lot less likely that a thief will target your bike. Also, don't carry your most expensive bikes on here. Now, guaranteed, if this was a carbon fiber bike, which I do have, he would have damaged the tube getting this off. Luckily, it wasn't, and I didn't want to bring a more expensive bike, honestly, on a trip anyway. And don't leave the batteries on an e-bike. Okay, put them away. Those are very valuable and probably fairly easy to pick. I don't know if this guy is a good lock pick or not, but you just have to look on the lock picking lawyers YouTube page and you'll see how easy it is for someone skilled in lock picking to be able to pick this lock and make off with the most expensive part of your bike. And those batteries will sell fairly easily. You can find a lot of batteries on eBay, and I have to wonder where some of these people get them to sell. If I had this bike stolen too, if I did get this bike stolen, I would also have a battery and charger to go with it. I would sell those separately. There's not a whole lot that I can do. Also, think about getting bicycle insurance coverage for your bikes, and also put a U-lock and put as many locks as you can around it, tying it directly to the entire cargo thing. I will share a picture of what I did later, which is just a whole series of locks. I had locks in the car. I just thought we were just temporarily going to stop for a little bit before heading out. That's really what I thought. This time I got lucky, but there might not be a next time where I get lucky with this. So I am definitely putting on a whole bunch of other locks on there. Also, AirTag your bikes. I know it's not foolproof, but it's a nice simple way to do it. If you don't have AirTags, you can also use tile, but AirTags are still the best. And then finally, just don't leave it out of sight. That's one of those other things. I have some recommendations on audible bike alarms that I use on the bike as well. You can find them just anywhere, primarily on Amazon. And yeah, put those on, turn it on. That would have been a nice deterrent for this guy, actually, now that I think about it, because most people don't put them on. They don't put them on, they don't arm them. Guaranteed, if it was put on and armed, it would cause enough ruckus that people within an earshot of maybe, I want to say this is probably good for about 100 feet or so, we're going to just wonder what is going on, particularly if they have their car parked out here. So I would get those things. And I know this guy wasn't petty enough, but this seat is actually not locked down. It's one of those quick release seats. So I'd also get a cable lock on here. Again, these are all lessons learned after the fact. Luckily, we got minimal damage. These are things that I'm going to have to do. This was a new bike. It's not enough of an excuse, but I'm definitely going to put those on before we head out on any major trip again. Okay, that's it for this video. Please do like, subscribe for more. This, of course, is, again, my new channel called The Ride. I posted these videos here on my main channel because I just wanted, I have 12.4K subscribers, and I wanted to get this information out there to the most amount of people as possible, hoping that these things don't happen to you. Okay, that's it. Please give this a like, subscribe for more. Happy New Year, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.